Hey everybody, welcome back to Jody Hughes Music, and in today's video I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm not going to be teaching you a song or any cool licks or anything like that. The banjo is out of the picture. He is back there. But what I want to do in today's video is just talk about some banjo books I kind of recommend. And there's a lot of students that come in, and a lot of people out there in the online world that, you have like a bookshelf full of books. Or maybe you see all this stuff on the internet and you don't know where to start. And what I want to do in today's video is tell you what I personally believe are some of the best beginner books, some of the best intermediate books, and then maybe the intermediate advanced stages. So I'm going to present some books for all stages, if you will. And I got some notes here, so if you see me looking down, and I also have some of my own books I'm going to put on the screen here so you can see how bad they look. For beginners, my personal favorite book series is by Jack Hatfield, and it's called Bluegrass Banjo Method. And there's, I don't know how many books there are, but there is at least a number one and a number two. I bought the number two book. It has a green cover, and I'll put a link underneath this video if I can, or a screenshot or something like that over here or over here, wherever there is space. And, so you know exactly what to look for. But Jack Hatfield, I don't know, there's just something about the way he presents the material that I personally feel like they are the best beginner books out there. He also has the melody, kind of highlighted so you can kind of see where the melody is in those arrangements, and I just like those. I think they're a better place to start than the second book that I'm going to talk about, which is the Earl Scruggs book. And I have the original old Earl Scruggs book, and it looks completely awful because the cover's ripped off of it. I used this ever since I was like 16 years old, and I just kind of mistreated it. So I have the original version here, and it's in rough shape. Now you got to own the Earl Scruggs book just because. And I personally recommend the old one if you can get it. I don't know how much more expensive it is, but I have had students get the new one, and I like the old one better. I think it's a little bit easier to read, even though the print is smaller. So that's something that if you're past the beginner stage, I think it's a good book. I don't think it is the best book in the world to start with. I think you're better off starting with the Jack Hatfield book, or you can go over to my friend Jim Pankey's YouTube channel and check him out. I recommend him as well. For those of you that don't want a book, you just want to learn from video, go look at his stuff. He's the best at this for YouTube as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, you got the Jack Hatfield book, and then you have Jim Pankey's YouTube channel, and then maybe graduate to the Earl Scruggs book, and then you can start to learn some of Earl Scruggs' arrangements. But I'm going to preface this by saying, keep this one thing in mind, if you will. If you're going to end up frustrated and depressed about your own progress, remember, Earl Scruggs, he'd been playing a long time when he was playing these arrangements. So, keep that in mind, man. Like if you get this, even the Cripple Creek arrangement, if you get that Cripple Creek arrangement, you can't do it after like 2 months or something. Maybe you want to try an easier arrangement and stop trying to play like Earl Scruggs, played on the album after he'd been playing over 10 years or so. So don't compare yourself to that. That's why I don't like to start people with that book. At the same time, if you're going to play bluegrass banjo, you need to know those arrangements, and you can either learn them by ear or, this book has them, a good bit of them in there. So that is that. Now, on to the next one. But this is kind of almost embarrassing, and I can't find this one, unfortunately, because it's in pieces worse than the Earl Scruggs book. The third book that I'm going to recommend is Melodic Banjo by Tony Trischka. And this is if you want to progress past, say, just pure Scruggs roll-based playing, and you want to get into the world of melodic banjo. When people ask me, hey, how did you do that melodic lick? I'm like, hey, go buy that book. You'll get like half of what I do. It came from that book. And number one reason I like this book is it goes through personalities and styles, if you will. So you got a section on Bill Keith, Bobby Thompson, and then another one of my favorite banjo players, Vic Jordan, who he's just incredible. I love Vic Jordan. And then Tony Trischka in the back has his own personal arrangements of fiddle tunes like Patty on the Turnpike, Red Hair Boy. And as you can see, I must have really just been a bad boy. Look at this. My melodic banjo book, I don't even know where it's at. It's like in pieces. It's scattered around the house here. This book is great if you want to get past just, say, your basic Scruggs style. You'll spend a lot of time in there. When I was a kid, I didn't even know what melodic banjo was, and I bought that book, and I was like, this looks like Chinese. It looks crazy to me. I didn't understand any of it. And now, since I've heard melodic banjo and I start to hear the recordings, that's the other thing is don't just buy the book, Get some recordings of the players that he talks about in there, Ben Eldridge and people like that. The next thing I was going to say, and this is for you guys that are more advanced players, I don't think there's anything wrong with just like going through books and picking out licks. And so the AccuTab series, I have the Bill Emerson one. This is the only one I ever bought, and looks pretty rough too. Bill Emerson's like one of my favorite banjo players of all time, so I had to buy this. If you don't own Home of the Red Fox and what is it? Gold Plated Banjo. Yeah, that's what this one's from. It's Gold Plated Banjo. These books are great. AccuTab did one for like Scott Vestal. I have seen parts of that one. Joe Mullins and Ron. I think it's was it Ron Stewart? Maybe Ron Block. I don't know. But personalities once again. And so what these are great for is like I can come in here and I can go through like the tab, and if I see a lick that I like, I can circle it and say, okay, I want to put that in my vocabulary. So I like these little personality style books because they just do a great job of presenting like one player's material, and you can get a lot out of just studying one person's material and just observing it and submersing yourself in it and stealing licks. You don't even have to like learn a whole song. I mean, this book here, I didn't learn all the songs. There's a song in here called Riding the High Iron, and let me tell you, I never learned that one, but I stole some licks out of it. So yeah, AccuTab, those books are great for just stealing licks if you're a more intermediate, advanced kind of player. But just to kind of recap, beginner, Jack Hatfield, that's the best book as far as I'm concerned. I've had a lot of beginners bring in all kinds of books, and to this day, that is my favorite one. I think if you buy book 1, proceed to book 2, you want a method, that's your method, in addition to Jim Pankey's videos. And then number 2, get the Earl Scruggs book, preferably the old one if you can manage to find it. I don't know how expensive it is. That's good just for reference. You're going to have to learn some Earl Scruggs tunes, my friend, if you're going to play this bluegrass. And that book is just something you got to have. And then number 3, Melodic Banjo by Tony Trischka. But at the same time, I think go check out Eli Gilbert's Melodic Banjo video. He did a great job of presenting the intricacies of melodic banjo. And I think that's kind of like a precursor to even buying the book. So go check that out. And then lastly, these AccuTab books, pick out somebody who's playing you like. It could be Bill Emerson or it could be Scott Vestal, and go learn their licks, go learn their material, and then also, of course, learn their material from the recordings. But if you want my opinion, those are the books I recommend. You will not find me recommending a whole lot of books, actually. Not to say that there's not any better ones out there, or all the rest of them are bad. It's just that those are the ones that I'm familiar with, and those are the ones that I kind of approve of, in addition to YouTube channel approval as well that I mentioned there. But you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much that have become Patreon members. That just means a lot to me. It keeps me fired up, pumped up, and putting out more and more material here. But you guys go check out the videos. I'm going to have links, or the videos and the books. I'm going to have links to their channels, the links to those books if I can find all the links. And that way, you know where to start, and you're not just completely overwhelmed on what to do. All right, you guys, take care and happy picking.